Hi, welcome to our IRC Introspective Collective podcast. Our weekly podcasts are about wellness, self development, and self love. If you are interested in these topics, you have come to the right place. Today's topic is how to keep joy during the holidays, which is part of our holiday blues series. So, as you can see, happy holidays from all of us.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So, last time just to review, we talked about how finances can be stressful during this time. We talked about how to set boundaries. And so, as
Holiday
and
traditions.
holiday traditions. So now we want to just say, how do you keep the joy? What steps do we take to remain joyful during this time where so much is going on and everyone has high expectations, or maybe you're a perfectionist and you want everything to be just perfect? What do you two think?
Well, when it comes to the holidays, managing expectations, you have expectations of yourself, there's expectations of family, um, managing the expectations. Another thing, traditions bring pressure sometimes, keeping up with the traditions.
Yeah.
So I would suggest it's okay to change a tradition, whether it's whose house you go over to celebrate.
That part.
Oftentimes that brings stress, right?
Mhm.
This in-law, this family member, it brings stress. So it's okay to modify the tradition because it's about bringing peace and enjoying the holidays. That's what the season is about.
Preston, if I could share, sometimes there are either couples starting out as a new family, or there may be a displaced family, and you're wondering, well, we usually got to go to your mom's house, got to go to his mom's house and her mom's family, and that does also bring pressure. And I know some people are creative. Um, okay, we'll come over to your house for the main course, and we'll come over to your house for
Right.
for the dessert.
Right.
There are ways to try to see everyone, right?
Yep. And I would say, as we kind of wrap up 2023, which is amazing that we're already going into a new year. This year kind of went by quickly. Is that as Preston and Paula has stated, managing our expectations, and deciding whether or not you want to go along with tradition that can cause stress. A lot of people I know, even for Thanksgiving, decide to have a very small, quiet Thanksgiving. They might have decided to stay home. Some people decided not to even cook their traditional foods because, I think we're just kind of like in a different time where people are starting to kind of really self-reflect and be more self-aware of where they are and how they feel, and let that kind of dictate the tone. But however, if you do decide to, go along with your normal traditional things that you do during the holiday, I think this is a time too to just manage your stress, like being more self-aware, practice some mindfulness, recognizing if you're starting to really feel overwhelmed, that maybe you just need to take a little mini time out. It might be a little chilly outside, but sometimes fresh air helps you to clear your mind. Take a walk around a block, or excuse yourself and say, hey, maybe you need to take a little quick drive and sit in your car for a few minutes and listen to, something funny, or, tune into our podcast would be nice. But whatever it is that you decide to do, and that's okay. And then reset, and then think about, what is the purpose of being there? Is it really about the things and having the perfect, pretty wrapping and the your meal just on a place as a certain way that may cause a little more unnecessary or self-imposed stress? Or is it just that, just like we're doing today, the three of us finally had a time for us to all be in person, because we're all so busy, and we usually have our record our podcast virtually, and we have virtual meetings. But we figured that this was a time just to spend some time together and just to laugh and joke and have some food and things of that nature. So you really have to think, what is your intention? Is your intention about all of the hoopla, or is your intention just to spend some quality time and enjoy the season? That's another way to just kind of make sure you keep the joy in the holiday season.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
And as you mentioned that, I'm also thinking about family, right? The holidays is a time that we spend with family. But as we know, everyone doesn't always have great relationships with certain family members. And so that's something else that we have to try to manage. And I would just suggest that, not necessarily going into the depths of family issues during the holidays. Perhaps there could be an appropriate time, in order to address other issues, but not necessarily during the holidays.
Okay. I mean, I think those are good points too. Like, I think about being present. Like, we can always think, oh, I got to run and do this. Oh, I got to go pick up that. I think, people are, because have come out of COVID, and it's now a holiday where we can all get together. People want to be with one another.
True.
And sometimes you might not have everything you want, but you have everything you need when you're together with people you love.
True.
Absolutely.
And keeping that in mind.
True. And it depends on what we focus on. Like you said, that's true. Why are you celebrating the holiday? I think that's, if people are kind of in tune with themselves, what is it that
What's your
you want?
intention?
What is your intention? What is it that you want? And then I guess that brings me to, as we're talking with family, we know sometimes family, as much as we love them, it can be a little stressful. But I would say, and as I keep in mind and, try to encourage other people, is that, compassion, right? We get it, like auntie such and such, or your brother,
Or Uncle Gus.
yes, or
Right.
even the kids, even your own kids, you love them, and it's like people are driving you crazy because you're already stressed, and you might be feeling a little irritable because it's pressure, but tolerance, having compassion and self-compassion too. Like, just be easy, give each other grace, because the point is to spend time with each other. We know who each other is,
Right.
and if we're deciding to spend time with them, we know that comes with it, right?
Mhm.
So instead of being letting people get under your skin, that is taking away the joy. We want to maintain the joy. So sometimes you just gotta sit back and laugh. Hey, you're gonna have yourself a little drink of wine or something, and sit
Right.
back and be like, you know what, that's how auntie is. I ain't even gonna let that get under my skin, or find amusement in it, because family members can be funny. So just keep the joy. That's the purpose of our discussion today, is just maintain the joy, because this is what the season is really supposed to be about.
And I also agree with wholeheartedly, because sometimes you just be like, okay, let's wait for it.
Because
5, 4, 3. But how about listening with your heart?
yes.
Right? Let's
Okay.
listen
Hence the
with your
compassion.
heart.
Right.
Let's listen with our hearts. Let's
Mhm.
show one another grace. Let's,
Yep.
I was listening to some colleagues talk about, they were having caroling with their family, and they were singing songs and karaoke songs for the holidays.
Okay.
That
That's-
sounds
and
that sounds fun.
Right. And even with, we don't need an elaborate machine. We could
Yeah.
just put the video YouTube on.
True.
Right. And you can
Right.
like us, because we are on YouTube too.
Right.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
Yes,
But
yes. Subscribe.
Just subscribe and like. And so, those are some new traditions that you can try with holiday music. I know some people have traditions of pajamas, everyone in their
that's true.
pajamas, right?
Mhm.
And so these are the festive things, and the children, they don't really look at, well, how nice was the table set,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
They don't look at that.
They don't
look
care
at
about those
They
things.
don't care
Right.
about those things. They just care, well, Uncle so and so gave me a cookie. He
Yeah.
slipped me a cookie under the table. So these are the things that really bring joy in
True.
making memories, right?
True.
And so we just want to encourage you to enjoy this time. And, perfectionism is a trait and a flaw, right?
Yes.
But let's look at just the joy of making time to spend quality time, right? Remember that used to be the buzzword,
That's
quality
right.
time.
And it's true.
Remember that?
And
Absolutely.
it's very important, because with that, not to take each other for granted,
Yeah.
because it's a blessing to have people to spend time with.
And yep.
Absolutely. Time is our greatest commodity, because once it passes, you never get it back. So
That
to
is
make the
true.
most of it is important.
That is
You
true.
know, that is true. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world that is not pleasant, right? And we don't have control over that.
Right. But we do have control over being present, truly being present, and taking it. And when I say being present, because I think we all understand what that means on a basic level. But I mean, like, have you been somewhere you're just like, that smells good, or you give, like maybe it's your grandmom a hug, and she has that scent that that's just grandmom has. So when she gives you that hug, and later on when you at work or something, you're just thinking about, like, yeah, or somebody has that same fragrance, and it reminds you of someone. Or the kids are over on the side and they're just playing and laughing in their own little world. That is what being present is, because you're observing in that moment all of the positive interaction, and you're feeling the love, which should spark that feeling of joy. And if we kind of be present and really truly enjoy the moment, then this is really what the holiday season is all about.
And so, we also talk about this from another standpoint, like thinking about what are 5 things you can see when you're somewhere.
Senses, yeah.
5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell,
5
1
senses.
thing you
Yeah.
can taste. Like, that's an immediate way to bring yourself
back
present.
True.
That's an immediate way to do that.
True. Very
Right?
true.
And with all the beautiful smells of the season, the pine cones and the gingerbread. If you do the gingerbread, my grandchildren are too old for the gingerbread house now, but I remember that smell. And then the baked goods in the oven.
My tradition was always to bake cookies.
And Des can bake up. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Des is an excellent baker.
And Paula is an excellent cook. So back at you.
Well, you bring up a good point, because we experience the world through our 5 senses.
Yes,
true.
And so when you think about joy and creating, a festive atmosphere, you should intentionally think about those 5 senses and how we can utilize those in order to bring that joy. Right? Taste, touch, smell, hearing. We like music, like you said, we like the food, how it smells, ultimately how it tastes, and giving a family member a hug, you know what I mean? I mean, that's also part of it too, so.
Yeah. So
feeling the joy, feeling the love, enjoying the food, all that good stuff, the music, So as we're wrapping up the holiday season and wrapping up 2023, and this is a time of year that people start to self-reflect and I guess start to evaluate the year and what they would like for the upcoming year, and hopefully some personal growth and things of that nature. So, our next episode, we're going to start shifting and start preparing for yet the new season, the new year. And at this point, we'll start talking about how taking a look in the mirror may be the key to your most successful year yet, because I think we all want to be successful, however you measure that. That's an individual choice. That's where we're going to kind of shift, and we're going to kind of wrap this up, you guys. But it's always a pleasure to share with you.
Mirror?
The man in the mirror. We already know what that means.
Or the woman.
Or the woman.
The person in the mirror.
That's right. The person in the mirror. So we are happy to just spend this end of the year with you in our podcast.
And yes, so thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the topic today. And if so, please like and subscribe. Remember to join us for our next episode. And we are looking forward to a successful, healthy, self-love, all that good stuff, 2024.
All right.
So long.